When I first started in the industry, there'd be hundreds and hundreds of mines in this area. Probably every 3 miles there would be a mine, and there'd be on average around about 1,000 men employed at each mine, which is a lot of people. And now that we've only got one mine left in the area, Thoresby, and to say where all the pits in the area, there's not many places left with any remnants of the industry, and it's amazing that Plesley Pit is still here, particularly with the listed stone buildings and the headstocks and the chimney. It's amazing that it's survived in this time.
This is an important site for two reasons. One, as an industrial heritage site, very important, but as a community site, it's even better, because there's so much for people available here. It's very, very popular with dog walkers and horse riders and people who just want to walk, either stroll or take advantage of the fact that we're at the end of the trail from Teversall and from Skegby, and we're at in the middle of the trail that then goes on from the Meaden and heads off towards Plesley Mills. It was a community that was in danger of dying in many ways when the pit closed, because the reason for the village being here was the pit.
It was a very family orientated pit. My first day at Plesley Pit was on Saturday, I think it's the 29th of March. That's when we came up. We came up to the pit, and the safety officer at that time, training officer, was a man named Jim Allison. And he took us to the baths. We was provided with pit boots, shiny toes, and a block of soap and a soap tray. We had to provide our own towel and a locker key. Mine was 1092, my locker key, I always remember that. And I had that locker all the time I was at this pit, the same locker. And they were showing us around the pit top, you know, and of course the tubs were coming off the chair and that, and we just stood there like me and my mate Peter, as had been with me for the job. We was like in the way, and we was told to, in no uncertain terms, to get out the bloody way. So, and the next thing that came up the pit was a little small tub, and in it was a little white pony, rock. It was dead, and somebody had put a board on it and marked it, "Sent to canteen for pastures." That's the humour of the mining industry. When the chair went down with men on, it used to go down at 33 feet per second. And when coal was on, it was 44 feet per second. So, you know, when you'd had a night on the beer and you're going down at 33 feet, your stomach used to come up towards your face quite a lot. But I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my life in pits.
My wife and I moved to Plesley in 1978 from a very small market town in Dorset with a fast-flowing chalk stream which was clear as a bell and trout you could see. And then we moved here to live within a few hundred yards of what was then a working pit with the clanging, and at night we could hear things moving. And in the morning my wife would tell me that she could smell the pit. I didn't notice it so much because I was raised in a pit town myself. It's gone from an industrial, horrible, black mess, really, to now what is a changing colour, from browns to yellows to greens, and then the lovely reds in the autumn, and then in the winter the whites and the hoarfrosts on sloes. Is a wonderful sight for me, absolutely wonderful.
I do appreciate and like all the seasons. I very much like nature. I'm very happy in the outdoors. But I do particularly like the autumn. I love the autumn colours. I like the berries on the trees, the different coloured leaves, and I like the smells you get with autumn.
what has been created within, apart from the main pond, which was the main slurry pond, other ponds have been created, and they've now proved excellent homes for at least 16 species of dragonflies and damselflies. And to sit over there now, where there is a nice seat on a nice quiet summer's day, you can be lucky to see grass snakes. And I have this year with my grandchildren sat and watched grass snakes swim across the pond, disappear into the reeds. Oh, they were absolutely thrilled to bits, absolutely. Their mouths dropped open. And then on a visit to Cresswell Crags, we bought them rubber snakes.
Coal mines were very dirty affairs. There'd be dust, there'd be the pit tip, which would be a dark colour at the time. There'd be lots of coal dust blowing about the pit yard, there'd be steam, there'd be smoke. And now it's just green and the birds singing. It is nicer, but lots of jobs have gone. At one time, the youngsters in the village would all have a job, but now people are wanting jobs, and it provided a lot of work for a lot of people.
Walking out of Plesley down the course of the river is Plesley Vale as a journey back in time, absolutely. Back to the what had been an industrial site, and was still again working when I came to live here with buses taking people to work. Lots of women from New Houghton and area employed there, and I know people spoke very fondly of working there, as they did about speaking about Plesley Pit. I always find it strange that people speak fondly about working in dirty, hard environments, but they do.
We've had quite a few fatalities here. I think from the onset of it, I think we've had 76 fatalities, and we've had quite a few die in the pit. My dad died here on the 20th of August 1968 in that pit, the North Pit. I was night gaffer, and they come to tell me when I was in shower that he'd had collapsed and he never regained consciousness.
It was the coal industry made this country great. The coal industry, the railways, the steel industry, in a way they all fed each other. Coal mining needed steel, railways needed steel, railways needed coal. So in a way all these industries served each other. And if it wasn't for these industries, we probably wouldn't have won the First and Second World War. So it's very important in the history of this nation.
We mustn't forget the industry, as we must not forget the lads that served for the country and lost their lives in the wars. I think my opinion is that we could still turn coal, but the government of this day think not. But this pit, it was some great men here. They used to break record every Friday, and they'd have a do in the welfare, and the firm would bring up perhaps a 36-gallon barrel of bitter, and they'd drink all that and sandwiches and all that.
Since I've been at Plesley Pit, I've never known any politics as regards mining. There's no politics here as regards the history of the mining industry. As you know, there was lots of strikes, but none of that ever comes up here. We all want to see, people who come here, we all want to see this as a monument to the mining industry.
Yeah, I suppose the one thing that has given me most satisfaction, or has been the biggest surprise, was a colleague saying to me, there are orchids up at Plesley Pit, and I hadn't noticed them. On my dog walks, I hadn't seen them at all. And to be brought and have one pointed out to me and say that is a bee orchid, it's mind blowing to see something like that. They're so delicate, they're amazing, aren't they? We're incredibly lucky living here. As I said, what was an industrial site that wasn't attractive to look at is now a beautiful place, and increasingly will become more and more beautiful as the trees mature, as we get different trees coming on site, different plants coming on site.